You're about to watch the 2008 Governor's Debate. I'm Kimberly Pike, and the candidates are AJ Blumenfeld, Ryan Cho, and Jesse Rucker. During the debate, each of the candidates will have 1 minute to respond to each of the questions. Let's check it out. Candidates, will you please introduce yourselves?
Hi, my name is AJ Blumenfeld. I'm running to be your 61st Youth Governor.
Hi, I'm Ryan Cho, and I'm also running to be your 61st Youth Governor.
Hi, I'm Jesse Rucker, and I am also running to be your 61st Youth. I can never say it. 61st Youth Governor.
Okay, thank you. We will now begin with the question and answer portion of the debate. The first question, please tell us about your leadership history and how those experiences have prepared you to be the best youth governor. AJ, we'll start with you.
Experience-wise, I have started this program from a long time ago in the 8th grade with the Model United Nations program, and I served in that program as a committee chair for 2 years until I ran for Secretary General, which is a lot like the youth governor's position. I won that role, and last year came back to that as youth secretary general, as well as being in the forum of this program. And then this past summer, I went to the Conference on National Affairs, where you could say it wasn't a leadership position. I didn't hold a leadership position within the Kona delegation. We don't have it like that. But the fact that I was one of the 26 people chosen to represent California's youth and all of the people in this program, I feel is like a leadership position in itself that has exposed me to a lot of different viewpoints and a lot of different experiences with different people and the way they work, and I just think that that sort of thing has gotten me ready to really take this job and know exactly right from the day one how we're going to do things.
All right, great. Ryan?
Like AJ, I also started the Model United Nations program when I was in the 8th grade, and I also served in various leadership positions, such as President of the International Court of Justice, which is one of the branches in the Model United Nations. The past year, I also served as a forum committee chair, and this year, I also served as a committee chair. Last summer, I also attended the Conference on National Affairs with AJ and with 24 other delegates. And like he said, there's no actual structured hierarchy, if you will, but the leadership skills that you gain, and that all of these leadership positions all come from gaining communication skills, and I think that all of these help to let you be a good governor or any leader.
All right, Jesse?
Well, unlike Ryan and AJ, I was not lucky enough to do Model United Nations, nor did I go to Kona last summer. But I was lucky enough this past year to be elected my delegation chaplain. And while a lot of people say, like, chaplain, oh, that's not, like, really important, that's just kind of a silly, fun job, it really allowed me to be involved in the leadership process within my delegation, which is a fairly large delegation, as well as being able to facilitate togetherness and facilitate fun, which I think is a really, really important part of being the governor and representing this program.
All right, thank you. So our next question is, if elected, what do you think will be the hardest part about being youth governor? Ryan, we'll start with you.
I think the hardest part of being youth governor is actually staying in touch with the delegates who have elected you. I know that as governor, sometimes you have to work in the administration and at the same time be a delegate. So the hardest part about being governor is the fact that you're kind of distanced away from the delegates, and I think that one of my goals is to actually use the youth governor position to meet more people and to go back to the delegates, hear what they have to say, and go back to the administration. And I think that is the hardest part of being youth governor.
As youth governor, I feel that one of the most important jobs is representing the delegation of California. And I feel that that can be a really big challenge. This program has such varied viewpoints, so many different kinds of people, which is what makes it so wonderful. But I think being able to tactfully represent all of those viewpoints can be a challenge, but it's also something that I feel that I'm really up to. And I feel that I'm really in touch and can really respect and understand many, many different viewpoints.
I said before that I think the youth governor role is one of, obviously it is a head role of this program, so it's very important. But I think more so than people think, how important it is in choosing your youth governor is because who the youth governor is will determine the parameters of that job, because it's so much dependent upon the kind of person who's in that role. And so I think the hardest part for me, if I were to be youth governor, is that I would always feel like I needed to find another part to be involved in, another thing. I'd want to be involved in everything and creating new program areas for people to enjoy and making sure that the program areas we have were better. And so the hardest part would just be that because there's such a wide, vast potential of what this job can be, that keeping up with that potential almost. And so I think that would be a difficult task for anybody in this position.
All right, great, thank you. And so what do you guys think are important legislative issues for high school students?
I think, well, obviously as high school students, education is something really important, like public education on like a high school level, as well as post-secondary options like colleges and stuff. And I think that's something that we as juniors are like really starting to deal with right now, having to apply to colleges, having to take SATs and all that. And I think that's really a priority for our youth, because a lot of people say, like, you know, we have to invest in education, and like that's like that's a big like politician-y kind of thing to say. But I really think that it's an actual investment. Like you can invest in all sorts of things, but I think investing in education is actually investing in the future, where if we have a good education system now, we have strong leaders and strong citizens for the future.
Great, thanks.
I'm going to take a minute to speak about my bill, and that is about high school, generally high schoolers, and that's because it's about 16 and 17-year-olds who are working and making a regular income and paying regular income state and federal taxes, and who are still denied the right to vote. And I think why this is important to high schoolers and why it really should hit home to a lot of people, whether or not they work, is because these people are in school, most of them, and they have managed to do something that a lot of people in society don't, and they're managing to be perhaps full-time students while holding a part-time job, which shows a level of responsibility. You're paying taxes, all things that are not even required of anybody over 18 to vote, and yet their voices are still not heard. And I think that it's so hard for high schoolers and any minor to get their voice heard as long as they don't have the right to vote. And until we open up even a small portion of minors to being able to vote, and I think this is the way to go, until we open up that small portion at least, there is no reason for anybody to serve minors. And there's so much to serve, and there's so much good that can be done there.
I think one of the most important issues pertaining to high school students is our rights as students and as minors. I think that one of the biggest issues, and we see every year in every youth and government conference, is our rights as students, whether it's searching of our lockers, new lockers, our rights in the freedom of speech or press and school newspapers. And I think that that is what our students care about, our rights as minors and students. I think that we feel that we're underrepresented wherever in the bureaucracies and legislatures and in the government, and I think that this program also helps us to represent ourselves and let Sacramento, people in Sacramento and in Washington, D.C. understand what we stand for. And I think those issues will become a big part of this program and will help us be able to communicate these issues to other people in positions that where we can obtain change.